What's going on, world? Thank you so much for tuning in to Aconnectiontv once again. This is Culture Clubb, the one place on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. We have a multitude, a plethora, a diverse cast now. Different faces, different races, different genders, finally. Yay! We got a real female on the cast. Yes, indeed. So y'all know the normal tradition. What we're going to do is from our right to our left, state our name and our zodiac sign, starting from the back. All right.
Kendall, my zodiac sign is Aries.
Okay.
Trap, Cancer.
Anthony, Sagittarius.
I'm TC, you know me, the Libra.
Sheldon, Cancer.
I'm Dale, Scorpio.
Jeremy, I'm an Aquarius.
I'm Dwayne, an Aquarius.
And a who?
Aquarius.
Okay. I'm Wesley, the only and best sign, Leo.
Shakara, I'm an Aquarius.
All right.
I'm a Capricorn.
All right. Yes.
Are you the only Capricorn?
I am the best in one and only.
See how you studied a little bit on that? Not true. Not true. So the first topic that we're going to talk about on this particular video, and we often discuss this amongst our friends, but some of you guys actually asked us to talk about it because you've adapted and started to fall for the personalities that we've had on Culture Clubb, and that is what's most important to you. And that can be in life, that can be in relationships, that can be in friendships. Digest that for a little bit, and anybody can chime in as soon as they're ready.
I think honesty is most important to me.
In life,
In life,
honesty is
in
the
general. In everything you do, honesty is the most important.
So that's you being honest regarding yourself,
Yes.
or just people being honest with you, or just all across the board?
All across the board.
Okay, give us an example of how you feel when someone's not honest with you.
How I feel?
Yeah.
Disappointed, let down. Especially if I find out that you're not being honest. Like, that's just, and you're lying deliberately in my face. That's just like the ultimate hurt.
Okay. Can anybody chime in on that honesty part? Is that important? The most important thing?
I agree with you when it comes to honesty and tying into trust. Trust is a big factor for me. If I don't trust you, then our whole foundation is frail and fragile. So, yeah.
I think for me, the most important thing is my relationship with God. I think my personal relationship with Him is so important because you're going to hear stuff from this person, that preacher, and that auntie, and that. If you have your own relationship and if you know the word for yourself, thank you. All right. The word for yourself,
Better know it.
then all the other stuff, the mistrust, the lies, the hurt, the pain, all that is so much easier to deal with if you have your own personal relationship. So for me, that is the most important thing because anything else, it's just I can pay it dust.
I can pay it dust. All right. Dwayne.
For me, I think happiness is most important. I think when you get all those other things like Dale said, you can be happy. You know, I mean, I think that if you're not happy, then that means that there's a lack of somewhere in your life. And so when you're not happy, you're not able to perform well, you're not able to be your best. But I think when you're happy, no matter what you're doing, you're always going to make sure you do your best because you're at that place where you feel like you can be the best that you can be. And so when you have God in your life and when you have people that are honest with you and if you have trust in your life, all that stuff makes you happy. And I feel like that's the most important thing is when you meet other people is that you want to see their happiness so that way you can figure out exactly where you need to go with that person. So I think that's the most important factor in life for me.
All right. Trap.
I have to agree with everybody that says something. But most important for me is God. I do think that having God in my life is worth the fact that it's worth living, it's worth breathing, celebrating His life.
I think the most important thing in my life is sound relationships with other people. I feel that for me, I can't really get through life without corroborating or having experiences with people. And as long as all of those relationships that I do establish are good and positive and upbeat and uplifting and motivational, I think that for me is important because I don't know if you guys can ever imagine going through a month without picking up a phone, receiving a text, Instagramming to get some likes or whatever, and dealing with other people. How would your life be? So for me, that's the most important thing. Shakara.
Yes. For me, I think the most important thing is acceptance of myself, and then acceptance of others, and feeling like I'm accepted. I feel in that way I'm able to live wholeheartedly, and I'm able to build relationships and know what it means to be happy and what I need. So when I accept myself, then it doesn't matter if someone does or doesn't like me, because I've already accepted who I am.
All right.
So that builds an important foundation for my life.
Tall TC.
I'm leaning towards how you treat others. It sticks out to me. It's not only how you interact with me, but how you interact with, our friends and new people that you meet and co-workers. Those things I don't want to say categorize, but I learn a person that way, how you treat others.
Okay. What's the hardest thing in life? We talked about the most important thing. What's the hardest thing in life, Jeremy?
Life.
What was one of the hardest things, or just what is the hardest thing?
What is the hardest thing for you in life?
I don't know. I had one thing that was the hardest thing, but death. I think for me, when you get attached to people and they leave, and I mean I understand life and death, but I think death is something that's hard. We all have to do it, of course. Yeah, we've heard that all before, but once you go attached to people and you love them, and it's like sometimes the longer they're here, the longer you want them here, and. But that's something that I deal with, and I go to church and I know Jesus for myself, but that is one thing that I deal with, and it's death, be it a child or someone that's old, a grandmother, grandfather, all that, aunts, uncles. I don't understand death. Like I guess I should, because I've been taught it before. But.
Interesting. Okay. Anybody agrees with that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think losing someone is really hard, but for me, it's not the death part, it's seeing the actual corpse. That's the hardest part for me.
Wow.
So if I go, I can remember my great aunt took me to a funeral. I don't know, I was like 8 or 9. She went to funerals for the fun of it. She just went, that was her thing.
Okay.
If there was a funeral at the church every Sunday, or every Saturday,
Oh, wow.
she was there. And so this one time, she took me with her. She's like, come on, babe, come walk down with me. Honey, I can still see that body to this day.
Really?
Because I'm a visual person, so if you're telling me a story about something, I'm not just listening, I'm painting a picture in my mind. So I'm just a visual person. So that, like, I can't see just these bodies. Even when they showed Michael Jackson for that brief second, like taking him out, I will never forget that moment. Like, I just, like, seeing the actual body is really hard for me. But the idea of death and losing someone else, that's not the thing. Like, I can go to a funeral, if it's the closed casket, I'm good. But if I gotta see that body.
That's interesting, because I honestly, I would say it's the same thing for me as death, because I've had experiences where I could have died. Quite a few experiences where I could have died. And just the thought of not being able to wake up, the thought of not being able to speak to my mother, the thought of not being able to have fun with people that I care about, the thought of not being able to listen to music and do the things that I love to do in life anymore, that it's heart-wrenching. So every time I'm like watching a movie and someone dies, I'm like, no. Like, I went to the movies yesterday, and I went to see Don't Breathe. If you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Go check it out. The casting is really, really cool, because the one good guy, just looking at him, you're like, oh, please, don't let anything happen to this boy. Don't let anything happen to this boy. And I'm not going to tell you who died, but when people were dying, I was just like, no. You know, I just get so emotional. I'm just an emotional person. Oh, y'all know. Yes, y'all know. So death for me, I would have to agree, is hi. Hey, who's that?
The one and only.
The one and only. All right. So Drake just walked in the building, y'all. Drake just walked in the building. Drake, if you want to slide on, come on in through. All right, that's Drake, y'all. That's Drake. But what is the hardest thing for you, Sheldon?
I've experienced the hardest thing for me already. Because in 2014 I lost my mother already. So that was the most hardest thing to do.
All right.
I would have to say one of the hardest things for me is not being able to provide for my child. If I couldn't take care of TJ, shout out to TJ. If I couldn't take care of him, I probably would lose my mind. So one of the hardest things for me, take care of my son.
All right. Anthony?
So to piggyback, and it's not the whole thing about death. That's the hardest thing for me. It's the thing about saying goodbye to someone. I don't go to funerals. I don't really do memorials or anything like that. I just recently lost a friend, and it's like I still won't go. Like I'm supposed to be in Atlanta right now celebrating his birthday, but to me it's more like in my mind he's on vacation and he's just I'll see him later. I just haven't talked to him yet. So I have a problem with closure. Basically, I don't like closing the door. I like to leave it cracked. In death, I'm satisfied because like okay, I'm seeing them again in the afterlife. But when I actually have to go to the funeral, like, okay, I will never see this person again. They're in the ground. This is it. And yeah, that's my whole thing. It's just saying goodbye in life.
So you would rather not go?
I would rather not go. I would rather not talk about it. Don't call me. I'm not that friend to call and cry about when it comes to, I'm just not.
So how do you deal with it? Right.
So I make jokes about it. So I did. No, since my first time. So listen. So me, for Shane's birthday, we went to Post Thursday, and that was my first time going to Post since it happened. And instead of me just being all sad and everything like, I just joked about the times that I did go to Post and what we did, and from me being 18 on the couch drunk dancing to me being my age now in the back sipping a dark liquor drink with my friends, and I just reminisce on the good times. So that's what I do. When he died, we got the call. My best friend called me and we just laughed and joked about his personality and stuff. I don't want to dwell on the bad things and actually saying that he's gone. So that's how I deal with it.
Okay. Anybody else?
I guess the hard thing for me is being mistreated. Because I have this heart in me or this soul in me that I'm just a giving person, I'm a loving person, and I'll do anything for anyone. And I guess it's just hard for me when someone mistreats me and do me wrong. I just feel like I'm taken for granted, or did I really, why did you do this to me? I'm giving you all my heart. I'm doing everything for you, so why mistreat me? Why give me the bad side? Give me the good side of you. I guess that's just the hardest thing for me.
So when you say mistreat, is that someone being physical with you? Is that someone lying to you? Is that someone
not so physical, but as in I will, as everybody knows in this cast, pretty much everybody knows that I will cook, I will invite people over, etc., etc. But when you get mad with me because I want to do something for you, or I want to tell you something what someone else said, or versus I'm not able to give you this, but I'm able to give that person this, and you want to treat me nasty with your words and your actions, and it hurts me.
So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Why do people feel it necessary to use people in that way? Some people be bold and blunt. Has anybody used anybody in that manner on the cast?
I think it goes back to how I say, when I say at the beginning, it's how you treat people, and that in turn kind of defines how you want to be treated. So if you don't want to be used, or if you don't want to be used by anybody, or if you don't like that type of negativity around you, you won't do that to somebody else. So you learn it, and I'm not saying that that people, I don't know. Okay, I know that seem kind of
Well, say it.
pointing people out, but there are just people in the world that will use people. They will use good people. They will use people that are, as they say, easy targets. Soft. Yeah, it's sad. It's really depressing. It's sickening that people would do that. It's you just have to pray for that person.
So then I guess a question.
Take kindness for weakness.
Yeah. So I guess a question that I could ask is, because what I've realized in life is that I've come across quite a few people that they get off, and for lack of a better term, I don't know, I want to say it that way, but they get excited for helping people because they want to receive something back. I feel that if you genuinely care for the person that you're doing something for, don't expect anything to come back. Do it out of the kindness of your heart and, you know, just give as opposed to wanting to receive something. I feel that when we start to put expectations on people and they don't perform well or whatever and they don't give us what we expect them to give us, then we start to in turn internalize that as something that it really isn't. And I think if you let things be known, like if you tell people how you are or the way that you are, then they'll be able to know how to treat you. Because I think a lot of times we as people, we want things from people, but we never let them know how we are, what we expect, or the type of person that we are. We just expect them to just go ahead and do this. And then if they don't do it, then we get upset. And so I think in terms, and not saying that you're doing that or whatever, but I'm saying in terms of requiring something from someone, do you feel that you've let it be known your requirements and how you are as a person?
I don't want anything from anyone because I know where my help comes from, and it comes from God. And He's going to supply all my needs. So I don't need anything from anybody. Because I've been on this earth for 27 years and have everything I want in life. So I don't need anything from anybody. But, you know, it's just, if you treat the person with kindness, you give this person all your heart, you do stuff. You don't want people to be mean to you or rude to you or such, because you're doing this because you care. So you want people to actually be happy or, you know, be excited or, you know, I don't really know, but I just don't like people mistreating me. I don't like it at all.
So then I want to ask you, I want everybody, no, go ahead, because I was going to switch topics. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm a PK. I grew up in church. And, you know, I've been in situations where, you know, I was talked about all the time. But I look at it as being mistreated. Who are we? Were we not good enough to be mistreated? God was mistreated. He healed the sick, raised the dead, made the blind man see, and they still crucified him. So just look at it as something where it's going to build you. And don't take it to heart where it's like, well, dang, I did this, I did that. Like they said, if you're gonna do it, do it. If not, leave it alone. But don't take it as like poor me, because that's the first entry for the devil to come in and take control of your mind. So do it. If you're gonna do it, if not, then shut up.
All right. Well, there you go. I want to ask y'all to complete this this sentence, starting with the two words "I miss." We'll start with you. We'll go down this way, and then we'll end up back over here. Yeah, we should. Well, I don't want to break the door. Hello, who's that? Oh, hey. Hey, sugar. Come on right in. Come right in, right on around. Yeah.
You better be damn fabulous.
Yeah, that's narrow. All right. So, if we can start with you, say "I miss" and then complete that sentence.
I miss New York.
I miss my Cartiers.
I miss eating gummy bears and not getting fat.
All right. All right.
I miss my brother.
I miss the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Good music, good people, good vibes.
I miss my mama.
Oh, I miss my grandmother.
I miss my father.
Okay. Well, touche. I miss New York as well. Yes, indeed.
I miss real romance. That's what I miss.
Yes, God.
Right.
Yes, God.
Go ahead. And Jeremy, what do you miss?
Yes.
I miss my grandma. I really do.
Okay. So we've heard that we've heard from quite a few people that death is the hardest thing in life. So I can understand people missing people that are no longer here. What about real romance? That's what you said. What's define real romance? What is that in the life of Dwayne?
Let me know.
Well, personally for me, it's a multitude of people on this panel, but for me specifically, romance to me is really wanting to know the other person. Not what they have, but who they are. Is you know, and I think sometimes they kind of get confused because some people still don't know who they are. And so when you try to build something with someone, romance-wise, it's easy to get lost. because you're not only trying to inform them of who you are, but you're still trying to get to know somebody that doesn't even know themselves. And so, building on top of that is just broken pieces. And so romance can't be built off of that, but romance, to me, real romance is knowing who you are, wanting to know who that other person is, and actually taking the steps and putting in the work for it to actually work.
Do you think that you have to be a certain age to know who you are?
No, not necessarily. I think some people at early ages already know who they are.
So a 22-year-old will know who they are?
I think they can. I think they can. I don't think there's a limit to that.
We have a live kind of audience over here. I heard something in the background. You 22 or 23 or 20?
23.
Okay, and you know who you are?
I think I do.
You think? That's not confirmation.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know mine.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I would say yeah.
Is there anyone on the panel that does not know who they are?
I'm getting to know myself a lot better every single year. It's like I reflect, thank God for Facebook flashbacks, because I'm able to see things that I post years ago I would never say today or never would think that way. So I think because of life experiences, I think by the time I'm 50, hell, I won't think the same way I am now.
Yeah, I definitely will attest to that. Everything that you go through in life changes you, makes you better or makes you worse. It all depends on how you take in that experience and what you do with it afterwards. But if you live yourself in isolation and you don't really go out and all you do is work and go home, work and go home, it's very hard to figure out who you are or who you will become as a person if you don't challenge yourself and go through different experiences. And that could be through heartache and pain, not finding romance, trying to fall in love but not working out, or going through friendships that have failed, or losing your job and then finding a better one, or there's so many different things that could make you and shapes you into the person that you are. Do you feel that you know exactly who you are?
I feel like I'm constantly evolving, but I would say that I don't feel like I fully knew myself until I got into my 30s, because I don't think the way I thought when I was 20 or 25. I'm 33.
No! Damn, you look good.
I'm just saying 30s look beautiful though. They look great. I
feel like it's taking time. And as I evolve, I feel like I'm a better version of myself, and I've lost touch with some of the people I used to be. Okay. Because I'm different now. And I feel like you don't have to be the same as you were 15 minutes ago or yesterday. It's just constantly, evolving, and like you said, having those different experiences to know who you are. And you have to be angry. I think you have to sometimes be heartbroken. You have to experience grief and loss and triumphs and things like that to really know who you are. Just like with a partner, you can't know who they are until you've seen them go through the trenches. You need to see those things, and then I can say I know you because I've seen you at your worst.
Right. And I think that's one of the greatest things about hello, you can come in, hi.
Lock the door behind you.
Yeah, can we get a forceful lock on that door real quick? Come on in here, McGrady and company. Who else is out there? Some people. All right. Come on, right across. Yeah. You don't need the catwalk. The camera's only gonna catch your arm. It's all right. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things with dealing with people in relationships, you can come on. If you guys have your phones on, can you silence your phones for us, please? And thank you. But one of the hardest things or weirdest things in dealing with people is, especially piggybacking off the whole romance thing, I think some people get caught up in the concept of wanting to be in love and wanting to find that person and not really challenging themselves to get to know these people and who they are. And like you said, going through different experiences, because only through going through certain experiences with that other person could you really fall in love with that other person. And I think a lot of the times we put like time stamps on something like, I'm not gonna have sex with them until 3 months, or we're not going to do this until 4 months, or they're not going to meet my parents until I go to the movies with them first. Like, we put all these rules and stuff on situations, but it's like, why go through all that? If this is a person that you can potentially see yourself with in the long haul, why not have them meet your parents now?
You're not meeting my parents right away.
Oh, is it? Really?
not gonna happen.
I have to know you first before you know my parents.
I feel like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay,
I need my parents to drill.
I'll say one. Hold on. I'll say
I need them to drill you, and I need to see if you can act under pressure.
Let me just add something to that real quick. I need to know you before you get to know my parents. You won't know this person for a good year, 2 years, 3 years.
It's true. Right.
So
Right.
when am I meeting your parents? In 7 years? Like, you know what I'm saying? So what does get to know you mean? And I think that's what she was saying when you were saying like you have to go through different experiences to really find out whether or not you can understand this person or want to be with this person. And what I was trying to say was that we get wrapped up in I want a boyfriend, that we meet somebody at the club last night, and then we have sex with them last night, and then in the morning we're boyfriends, and then we want to introduce them to the whole world, and now we're together. Right. But that's what I'm saying. You can't do that. You need to go through these experiences. So when you say I'm not going to introduce you to my parents, like what does it take?
Because
for someone
I feel like I'm in my 30s, and so I feel like
30s is looking good, baby. 30s is looking real good.
I feel like I know who I am, and so therefore I'm getting to know you for myself. I don't need validation from my family or my friends to tell me, okay, you're right for me. No, I'm gonna get to know who you are on my own, and if I decide that
you're right,
or if we decide we're gonna take it to the next level, then I'll introduce you to my family. But I feel like in the LGBT community, we meet, we get married, we move in, and like a span of a week.
Yeah, it is. It's real.
And we don't get to know the real person. We haven't seen them go through heartache or pain. We haven't seen them without their makeup. We haven't seen them, thrown up or with diarrhea. Like, are you gonna be able to deal with all that kind of stuff? Is he gonna fart in front of you? Like,
My roommate farted in front of me.
It's crazy because, I think within this community too, I think it's a pressure. Because I feel like a lot of people are looking for that it relationship. And once they've seen it, or when they feel like, okay, well, we gonna be just like them, so we gotta make this thing work. So we need to make sure that we get everything down packed, and we gonna, so we're gonna get married. But what they fail to realize is that that other couple, you can't tell what they've gone through just by looking at them.
And that might not work for you.
And it might not work for you. So you really, again, it just goes back to getting to know that person. And if the other person is gonna cooperate or not. Some people just don't cooperate. You can't control the other person that you're there. You have to be able to make a compromise and be able to be on each other's side. Yes, compromise. Because y'all are on before y'all met, y'all were in two different spaces. So when you meet someone and you decide that you want to take it there, then you gotta understand that they're probably on a different time span than you are, but you have to be patient.
And how many times have you seen on Facebook, like every month, we all know somebody every month in a relationship.
I'm broke up in a relationship.
Engaged in a relationship.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. It's too much.
It's a lot. So
I'm listening.
It's a lot of stuff that comes with that.
Well, the whole romance thing, me and a friend of mine was talking the other day about how it's different now than when it was before. You can get on the app and meet someone, and then automatically, you go down the line with your stats, and you're like, okay, come over, let's do it, boom. And then it's like, the romance is gone. Before we had the apps.
Explain to the people that weren't able to understand your history with your sister, if you can give us a little brief synopsis of how you came to meet and how that all worked out for the show.
Okay, yeah, I met Asia when I was about 15. I was about to turn 16.
I was trying to hurry. I didn't know nothing. All I did was I came. I didn't want to do nothing. I was so hungover. I cared. There was everything else. Right.